Welcome to the LCCC. And I am Luke Wonderland. I am your host, and I'm here with the amazing. Gotta introduce yourself, though.
Mr. Rudrose. Sorry, I thought you were going to give me the name. Hey, folks, Rudrose here. Happy to be here with Luke once again. Always a fun partner I enjoy working with. And today, I think this is the winner's bracket final. So both these players are undefeated. Yep. Moyen versus Artabax. And they are running a mirror match with green-purple versus green-purple. So I'm very excited to cast this match.
Oh, we're just cutting right to the list. So there they are, right there. It's pretty close.
Excellent. Yeah.
Moyen's playing more cards. That's the main difference, it looks like.
Artabax technically has a few more characters. Moyen has a couple more. He's got a bit more of the discard aspect, whereas looks like Artabax, he really only has the sudden chill. I guess if you argue Merfolk or Bruno, but we're not seeing a Prince John. Maybe the old Flynn Rider's coming back. Charming Rogue, man. It's been a minute since we've seen that card.
It's like a combo there. The interesting thing is there's not a Prince John to take advantage of having the Flynn Rider to do that. But Artabax seems to be just relying on the old faithful Ursula 3. He's been playing this forever, so he's got like a little bit of a different way about it. Whereas in Moyen's got like the nice discard aspect, going to try to take advantage that way. And I'm quite interested to see where we're going to go with this.
Yeah, absolutely. We also, neither of them are going in on the Diablo package. The only Diablo I see in these lists are the one-drop purple one. So, but both players just saying maybe too much of a risk, or maybe they're thinking everyone's teching for it.
I mean, Artabax is a green-purple master. He's got 2 top 2s in the pack and a top 25 pixel board in Season 1 through 4. I don't think he played Diablo in any of that. Didn't need it. Renowned for saying Diablo wasn't good. You don't even need the shift card. He obviously went back on that. He definitely went back on that later. And it takes a real master to like say when they were wrong, admit when they were wrong about something. And Moyen has an insane amount of accomplishments here. Top 32 EU Championship, top 16 DLC Bologna, 33rd at DLC Seattle. Heartbreaks there. Oh, so close, but so far. 65th in Birmingham and multiple top of the packs. Very good record on both players. And as we were saying with the list, they're like pretty similar, but also super far apart. Like, yeah, they both play some of the same one drops, but not all the same one drops. A couple of the same 2s, some of the same 3s, but the numbers are different and the variety of extra cards are also a little bit different. Now, the players are waiting for us, so we could probably ask them to start now. Like, I think they're patiently waiting, so I think we're good to go while they figure out their mulligans here. Do you think they've already taken their first altar, or do you think they're thinking about which
That's a good
they
question.
want to art?
I'll tell you what, I like. Okay, looks like they have already taken it, as I believe Moyen is starting. As we're going to put out our Chernobog's followers. I love the look of Artabax's hand just because it's loaded with birds. We have 3 Diablo and 3 Ursula.
We said he wasn't playing Diablo. We were, of course, referring to the 3-cost Diablo. My favorite card.
No start with the Cursed Motor, folks. Let's go ahead and bring up Diablo here on the overlay.
I already did
Diablo.
it.
Oh, excellent. Way to go.
Well, at least a different Diablo. Anyways. Yeah. Where I do believe both players are opting for the new one-drop Diablo. It just can do so much.
Yeah. So we can scout easily with the Ursula if we wanted to. Opts to play the Sir Hiss. We know each other's lists. There isn't an over-reliance on songs. So Ursula will definitely miss as many times as she hits. And we'll safely... This is the nice thing when you're going against this purple Diablo. You can actually quest with your Chernobog's followers and just leave it there because what they got to threaten it with. You know they have nothing on turn 2 that can deal it damage.
For now. For now. You just wait. You know, Artabax's going to play Tramp. He's going to play Baby Crab and just take it down. Obviously,
that's true.
It's not going to happen here. We've seen the list. They've seen each other's list. This is open deck list. So Moyen knows there's literally 0 ways for Artabax to handle that followers here.
Artabax takes a quick peek with the Ursula. It seems like Ursula is a more favored play when you're going second. People, feel like they're trying to take control of the match, keep control of the board. They're playing catch up since they're going second. So Ursula's a good way to scout that hand. And he just sees what's coming for him, which is possibly a Fox or maybe even a Prince John.
I still like Ursula on the play. If they mulligan pretty heavily, like 4 or 5 cards, you could get
Hmm.
lucky and actually snag a song.
Yeah.
Whereas if your opponent is expecting Ursula to, they're probably going to try to ink the song to prevent it from being hit. So of course, draws 2 cards, one of which is a song right after the Ursula 2
Yep.
came down. And there's even a Prince John. Like, Moyen can ink play Prince John and then sing the sudden chill, draw an extra card. This is not what Artabax wanted to see. It's what he wanted to stop,
Right.
actually.
Yeah. That's what he was trying to prevent. But of course, timing's everything, especially with this Ursula. The amount of times I've lost a song just to drawing it at the wrong time, as he does exactly what you say he will do. Sir Hiss, in his best Winnie the Pooh snake like voice, sings a sudden chill, and Artabax is going to go down a card.
And it's also frustrating as Artabax is going to try to commit an Ursula 3 most likely to this board,
Hmm.
and Moyen just has the answer. Like, granted, Artabax knows about it, so maybe he won't. Maybe he'll just try to play a little more aggressive. It's kind of hard to say here.
Yeah, there's no way to interact with this Sir Hiss currently. We have no way to hit an evasive. So you could just Fox just to establish a big body if you wanted to. You could, I don't know, you could run out the Flynn. Or you could bait out the kit, saying, okay, I'm going to at least make you use the kit on the Ursula, which looks like
I
perhaps
mean,
that's what he's going for.
if Kit is coming down here, then that is not more threats being developed, right?
Yeah,
It's not the
absolutely.
rabbit we know about. Um, it's just adding one more lore to play, and Moyen doesn't really have a lot of lore pressure right now. Like he can't really quest because Crab exists.
Right. Yeah, the Prince John is far too vulnerable and valuable to exert sideways. So he can pretty safely quest with the hiss, but of course, like I said, that's only one lore turn. That's not doing a whole lot for us.
Yeah, and Prince John is one of the most powerful cards in this mirror match. It's quite surprising to see Artabax not have it. That could be a nod to Artabax expecting Moyen to play a different archetype and maybe not wanting to go in on that particular strategy to combat it.
Yeah.
Whereas in Moyen's like, Artabax is going to play this, let's play the mirror, and I'll gear for it.
And now we are getting ready for a double sudden chill. Moyen didn't know it, but if he'd actually dropped the Ursula there, not only would he have gotten the discard to trigger the Prince John, he would have prevented this Ursula singing. But of course, didn't want to take that chance of putting down the Ursula, and then there's nothing there. Because sometimes players do, right? They establish the legendary Ursula just to threaten it and make you think, "Hey, what could I sing?" And then you overinvest into it when in reality they didn't even have anything.
Yeah, it was a tough choice. I think if Moyen had the second 2 drop, maybe he would have.
Yeah,
It's really
it would have been
rough
his whole
not to
turn.
play it there, honestly. But I understand wanting to get the rabbit. Maybe he was just like, Artabax knows I have the bounce, so Artabax doesn't care. Well, that
Right.
could be true, but that doesn't mean Artabax doesn't have a payoff. The question is which payoff? Like, if it was Mother's Knows Best, yawn, who cares?
Yeah. Yeah.
It,
Exactly.
if it was a friend's, that's kind of scary. Like 4 extra cards, even if you have the Prince John, you don't have a big discard package. And now Moyen is kind of all in on the rabbit.
Which is not a bad
Not
thing to be all in on, especially when you can bounce it with a fox. So, and we establish our own rabbit. Luke, it warms my heart to see the old Merlin Mim package doing work.
yeah, I felt like Moyen had the answer here, but that Ursula 3 just did some work.
Yeah.
Granted,
Although it should get cleaned up here, right? So you can send the hiss into the small Ursula. You can quest with the rabbit, bounce it with your own fox, run the fox into the Ursula. It sticks around. So, and we
I
got our
don't
own sudden chill too. Wow.
I don't think Hiss is going to trade with Small Ursula. At this point, I assume Hiss is going to sing Sudden
Yeah.
Chill.
Now he's gonna
But
sing.
even then, like, it's an interesting card. Hiss trades with opposing Aladdins.
Mm.
Hiss can quest. The Ursula 2, it's not as scary of a thing that needs to be worried
Yeah,
about.
it's done its job, right? It's already landed, so it's not like
And
you have to
maybe
get it off the board.
I think Moyen right now is contemplating, well, do I play Ursula 2 and hope to hit a song and then play Fox? But I think the right choice here is to bounce the rabbit first to see what we draw. See if we
Yeah.
draw an inkable card we want to ink here. Ooh,
We did not. It was well, but you could no. You don't have enough ink to establish the Prince
how
John.
greedy are we?
I would say you could be patient, right? You could wait a whole turn and try to get the double trigger off Prince John.
Yeah,
We
and if
know
you get
we know
hit,
Artabax has nothing that'll stop that currently, but of course Moyen doesn't know that.
well, here's also the scary thing: is what if Artabax has the soul read
Yeah,
and is like Moyen tanks for too long, and Artabax is like, oh, this is easy peasy. Like I'm just going to bounce back Ursula and replay it. I know they
yeah.
have the discard in hand. Nope.
Well, actually hard cast it, so potentially wanting to quest with this Sir Hiss. Poor
Yeah,
Merlin goat goes
that's.
into the discard, and well, we get another fox, which I guess is potentially good if we want to bounce the rabbit again.
I'm quite intrigued that Sir Hiss didn't sing. Like that we were valuing the one lore over the potential of another 2-drop.
Yeah, maybe he's feeling that like his deck won't outlast Artabax's if it goes on too long. Usually that's why players go for that early lore, especially with something like Sir Hiss.
That said, Moyen only has Sir Hiss, Merfolk, Followers, Diablo, Ursula as cards he could have played with that 2 extra ink.
Yeah,
So he probably was just thinking, I'm not going to draw anything anyways I want to play. So, like, it could be that most 1-drops he would want to ink next turn anyways. He's got the Rabbit Bounce package. He's going to want to focus on that. And that's maybe where he wants to go. It's also rough. He can't get too low on cards
right.
because of the discard.
Artabax establishes good old Flynn Rider Rogue. We haven't seen that card in a minute. It's essentially like a Merfolk on turn 2, where your opponent will have to discard a card if they decide to challenge the Flynn. And other than the kit, we don't really have a lot of ways to just remove it off the board. So, and it quests for 2 lore, so probably will need to be challenged at some point. As we put good old reliable rabbit right back out there, he's going to hop into the fray and get ourselves another uninkable. Moyen is seeing quite a few of his uninkable cards.
Yeah, it's interesting where Moyen needs to get some more lore, but also he doesn't have much going for him. He has some good cards,
Yeah.
but he doesn't have the right assortment.
Yeah, he doesn't have any further discard currently either. So, like, while the Prince John is nice, you're not going to exert it. So it's essentially just sitting there waiting, waiting for someone to come help him out.
Yeah, I mean, you might even think Prince John's not going to do anything. Our opponent's going to run out of cards eventually. Yeah, but Bruno's are a card. Like,
True.
you're going to be able to get those extra cards. You're going to get them out of their hand, and it's going to do work for you.
Absolutely. Artabax establishes a Merlin Rabbit, gets our own form of discard in a sudden chill, which if we wanted to ink like Crab, we could use it this turn, but actually says, no, I'm not too worried about the discard. I've got the Flynn. Maybe I can make you discard this way. I'll just put on the lore pressure. And Artabax is racing ahead. So he's saying, hey, you're the one who's got to answer me. I know you're not going to exert that Prince John. What are you going to do about my board?
Well, I apparently summoned it to the top by mentioning it. But I think this is still kind of a reasonable turn. We have 5 ink, so we can go up to 6. So we're able to challenge down the Flynn Rider with Rabbit, discard an extra Peter Pan if we need to, play the Fox, return the Rabbit, draw a card, trade with the other Fox. And then we can either play Prince John and one of the Peter Pans after inking a card and then saving the Bruno for the next turn. But that's also scary, right? What if Artabax
Right.
has another Ursula too?
Although you do know at least hand count, so Moyen does have the much better hands. Like you said, he could probably afford to just outright challenge this Flynn if he wanted to. He's got 2 Peter Pans. You could probably throw one of them away. And it doesn't look like, I'm going to double check Artabax's list really quick. I don't think he has a ton of great ways to deal with evasives. Maybe just the Peter Pan. And I guess, yeah, as far as like challengers, that's all he has. And then, of course, he has a spot removal like Cloud Kicker or Bruno.
Do you think, would you like this view more if the tables were swapped so it's like we are the player, or do you like it more that they both look like they're our opponents?
I like it that it looks like we're the player. I think it's easier to see when it's head on for me, personally.
So like this or the other way?
Let me double check. Oh, I liked it the way, like, yeah, the way I'm looking at it on Discord. So where they're as if we're the player. I personally think that's better. People in the chat, of course,
I
can.
I just realized that it wasn't that way. I was like, wait a second, why is his hand not in the hand zone?
Yeah, because I
But
like
I
it because then
guess
it to me it's the perspective of, oh, as if I'm playing the card. As we get another goat, we are we are swimming in Merlins on Artabax's side. We have the rabbit, the crab, the goat. What else can he turn into? A squirrel? Probably no squirrel in there, but
the question is he going to be able to deploy them all, or is Moyen going to draw the discard in time?
I do like the idea of just jamming the goats out there. It's lore. You know your opponent's gonna have to deal with it, so it's pretty much guaranteed. Two lore. There's no kind of card like a Pirate's Life that's gonna take it away from your opponent in this deck. Yeah, Artabax just putting on the pressure.
Leaving the rabbit just out there signifies we definitely don't have another bounce, and if you want to draw me another card, go for it. And if you don't,
Right.
I'm just going to gain more lore.
Well, and with that nice 3 willpower, he can't take it out with just the single Peter Pan. So he's either going to have to trade the hiss or commit 2 cards into the rabbit, which is quite nice. As we get even more uninkables. Man, Moyen is in love with his uninkables this matchup. He's now drawn 2 Merfolk as well. A Peter Pan, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on board. And I'm pretty sure there's some in the discard as well.
Drawing the merfolk here is pretty big. I mean, he's going to see if he can hit a fox to answer this rabbit. And if he doesn't hit fox, he can easily just deploy both merfolk, have the start of a clock, and then quest with the hiss up to 7.
He could do the hypnotize as
That's
well, which will get the
that's
card
what
draw,
we're
which is
going
nice.
for.
And there goes the crab, of course. I kind of liked your idea of the merfolk, though. You know, it makes your board very wide. You know, there's no board wipes, and saying, yeah, hey, actually, I'm going to switch this in a turn, and you're going to have to answer me.
Draw Kit and Iago. Oh, that Iago looks pretty good when we've got
Peter Pan on
Oh,
board, yeah. It can easily deal with this goat and stick around to tell the tale. I like that.
it's an interesting game we have here. Is Moyen going to be able to stop everything and win? I'm thinking probably. The turn that he turns or around is going to be the turn that he plays both merfolk. He's going
Mm-hmm.
to answer the board, deploy this threat, and be like, I've got a 2-3 turn clock.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, these evasives are kind of tripping up Artabax, too. He just doesn't have a clean way to answer these cards. He needs his own Shadow Finder. I mean, you can bounce it with Mother Knows Best, but that doesn't feel very good on a card that has Rush. You certainly don't want to bounce the rabbit and give him more free cards. Moyen's got 6 ink, so he could just deploy the goat. You don't have enough to fox as well. Maybe, I mean, you don't know that your opponent has the Iago, but maybe you just try to put on the pressure. I would imagine, just based on card advantage, Artabax is probably thinking if this goes on too long, Moyen is going to claw back into this, especially with that Prince John sitting there. So his best bet might be, so he could quest with goat, bounce with fox, that's protection, or just play the second goat. And then obviously we're going to lose the first goat to the Iago.
Yeah, Moyen just has a lot of cards and is just now trying to figure out how do I use them fast enough to prevent Artabax from winning. And Artabax is... I'm a little worried for Artabax here.
Yeah. Goat is a fantastic card, Luke, but when you're only at 10 lore, it's very slow to bounce your way all the way up to 20.
Yeah, all right. So we could quest with one goat. All right. It does require Artabax to have an Iago or have a fox.
Yeah.
Or trade 2 characters into it. So we're going to quest. We go to 12. Next turn, we quest, and that gets us a 13. We bounce it with fox. We go to 14. We replay goat. We go to 15. The next turn, we quest goat. We quest fox. We go to 17. We play Mother's Knows Best on goat. We go to 18. We replay goat. We go to 19. We pass the turn with Lorthal in play.
Ooh.
It's a 3-turn setup. I'm pretty sure it's 3 and not 2. And at that point, it's like, can Moyen stop it? Moyen needs an Elsa style card or a Kit, something like that. And none of those, like, Kit doesn't do anything here.
Yeah. But we know big ol' Iago does. That big illusion parrot's just waiting to come down and snatch the goat up in his beak.
If Moyen doesn't deploy these merfolk, I think Artabax might have it.
You know, he could do Cricky too, because he can do Cricky, still have enough for merfolk, just run the rabbit into the goat. So he doesn't even need to use the Iago. And the Cricky's 3 lore on its own. So the Cricky's also like Cricky merfolk. That would be 7 lore just for those 3 cards if you can get both of them out.
And that would allow him to 2-tap, basically forcing Artabax to challenge.
And if he quested out 2 at the John, so if he played Cricky, knocked out rabbit with goat, quested with John, he'd go to 9, and then John, that'd be another 9 lore on board between the Cricky, the 2 merfolk, and the John. So suddenly you'd flip the switch on Artabax, right? He wouldn't be able, and it looks like he might be doing that because he does Ink Iago.
I think he realized that it's going to be just enough lore to do it, and the possibility of some bounce replay is too scary.
Absolutely. We even get Mother Knows Best, so if he really wants to, he could either hardcast this or play it with the John, have the John sing it.
Chill.
Or Sudden Chill, sorry, not... I looked at the card and then looked at Moyen, Artabax.
Right.
I was like, it's the one that discards. That's Mother Knows Best. It looks like he might be doing that. Yep. We're going to sing. You have to give up your own Mother Knows Best here. You can't afford to give up that fox.
Yeah, it is the worst of the 2 bounces. It does put Artabax on still needing to draw something, but bam, 1, 2, 3.
How do you like that?
8 lore deployed in a turn. So we have 11 lore in play. Artabax is gonna be a snake, a slithery snake.
Okay, all right, that's some bounce. The only thing we can challenge here is the Prince John, which I assume we're going to do. We could even send the fox out to clean up the John. And the snake does give you some more goat, but it's just going to be so slow is my concern for him.
So we quest to 14, we fox back, we go to 15, we redeploy you to 16. Fox takes down Prince John. No, Fox doesn't. Does Fox need to? We're at 15, then the next turn we go to 18. So we do have to stop it, actually, because Moyen is representing 2 turns, and we're representing 3 turns.
Since Moyen's representing so much lore, Luke, I think what I would like to see him do is actually challenge with the goat, snake the goat, and then redeploy the goat. That way you have 2 attackers. I don't know if that's even going to matter with a board this wide, but that way you at least can challenge both of these merfolk next turn if you have to. Or if he does the fox play, unless he inks the snake, then he wouldn't be able to redeploy the goat.
It does give you extra characters to challenge merfolk if need be. So if we did it that way, we challenge, bounce play. We're at 1 less lore, but we technically have that lore in play as the fox being able to quest next turn, because we'd assume the fox would be taken down by something.
Yeah. And he actually goes for that play, but minus the challenge. He's trying to get to perhaps
he
realizing
only has 6 ink. Yeah. I thought he had 7 ink this
No, he had, so he couldn't even do the fox and the goat without.
So he had to top deck ink.
But he's going for lethal on his own, right? Which he should be able. If he top decks ink and neither of these characters get dealt with, you quest both of them, go to 18, right, so fox bounce the goat 19.
The problem is Moyen goes to almost Lorthal, passes. Artabax doesn't have enough, right?
Well, no, that's
Artabax, he does still have enough.
He does. So if he quests with both, goes to 18, bounce goat, as long as he draws an inkable card, he can replay the goat and win.
So I think my math was off on a turn. I think I had calculated what he's going to do and be like, he can't do it in 3 turns, but it was a 2-turn clock.
Yeah. And Moyen doesn't have a way to stop these. And I think Artabax realized that. It's like, you know what? Your board's too wide. There's no way I'll win this by challenging. I'm just going to try to race you. All Artabax needs to do is draw an inkable card off the top, Luke. He's got this. If he draws non-ink right now, though,
he just needs to set up. Yeah, if he doesn't draw an ink, it's gonna be brutal.
And Moyen, of course, showing there is no way this is going one turn longer. So this is it. Draw your last pathetic card, Yugi, so I can end this. Artabax says, my deck contains no pathetic cards, but it does contain the unstoppable
Inkable
Kit Cloud Kicker.
And that's going to be game one going for Artabax.
Whew, oh man, by the skin of his teeth. That was very back and forth. Moyen did a very good job of just hitting that wide board and putting on that clock, but Artabax on his very last possible turn was able to skirt that away. Good old goat bounce, tale as old as time.
Oh yeah, just like really doing what he needed to do there, doing some bounce, getting back. Moyen doesn't actually even have Elsa's. Artabax is the one with 4 Elsa.
Oh,
so
yeah, we never even saw it.
He needed to draw his. I think he had one Bruno left in his deck.
He used the Bruno earlier.
Did he use it or ink it?
He did something with it. I don't remember if he used it, but we did see it.
Like I was swapping the screens up and down. I think he inked it and like challenged with John or something, or challenged and discarded the extra John from his hand. So instead of going on the double John package, he went with a quick discard, ink the Bruno, and not rely on it. It's possible that had he gone a little bit more of a safer, quote unquote, possibly safer gameplay and kept the Bruno to be able to answer that kind of card, he would have been able to have what he needed. But we can go back to a few turns sooner when I was like, we need to drop these 2 merfolk. That might have given Moyen the extra 4 to 8 lore he needed to clench that himself.
Yeah, man, that was so close. The only other thing is if he'd drawn Lucifer, he actually could have made Artabax discard his whole hand, but he only runs a 1 of Lucifer, so the odds were very low that he was going to draw the exact answer he was looking for. I liked the play with the Cricky, and I liked him putting on his own lore pressure. It was just a hair too slow to stop Artabax.
All right, well, they're shuffling up still. Got a timer set so we can get the ad at the exact right time. Yeah, that snake, he has 2 snakes in his list. Moyen's 1. That snake was the only draw there, possibly. Oh, okay, all right. He could have drawn his inkable a turn sooner, inked and gone the fox play, and then that actually would have been better for him, quote unquote. Because then he wouldn't have had cards in hand. Whereas in there was a crazy world that Moyen could have gotten the fox out of his hand, right?
Yeah.
And then at that point, he's drawing with no outs, possibly.
You know, it's interesting. Both players are running actually quite a few Kit Cloud Kicker, and this is a card I just go back and forth on all the time, Luke, because to me, it's very much like Brawl, right? Sometimes it's great, and it hits so many targets, and then there's other matchups, it doesn't do anything, and there's no targets for it to hit, and when your opponent has Goat and Snake and Fox and all these high-powered characters, it's like, what does this card even do? So, man, that's one of those I just go back and forth on. I like it, and then I don't like it. And
It's a fairly well-balanced card. It's good when you're winning, and it's mid when you're not. And it has the capability to try to steal tempo away. Playing it on turn 3 to bounce the person on the play's 3-drop, all of a sudden, you're now on the play. And now you can sing a 3-cost song. So you can sing Storm with that. And they go Ursula 3, you play that, bounce Ursula 3. Next turn they play Ursula 3, you sing Strength of Raging Fire.
Yeah.
You just took the play, you just stole it back. And that's one of the reasons why Emerald Steel is so powerful. And Emerald in general is it does have some cards that are attached to characters that interact with things in play. Similar to how singing is powerful. Singing is super good because you have a character in play that can exert to play the card. And you're like, well, of course, that's what literally singing does. But it's so powerful is because it's like an extra card for free. It's basically, you don't have to pay for it, right? So your character is a form of ramp as well as lore advantage. And bouncing an opponent's card is strictly tempo. You're not answering it. You're answering the board state, but not the threat. The threat will be back. So you're trying to either steal the tempo, so now they have to challenge your characters instead of you challenging theirs. Like, that's the big issue with this game. If I'm questing and you're challenging, I'm going to have lore and you're not.
Right. Yep.
Moyen's got quite the start. Which one drop would you open with? Merfolk or Followers?
Going first, I would do Merfolk because again, your opponent doesn't have any kind of rush. If your opponent has to open up with their own Diablo, they can't even challenge this card. So yeah, I like the Merfolk. I always enjoy getting the Uninkable out of my hand, like just in case Moyen were to start bricking, he can at least ink the Followers if he absolutely has to. Speaking of Uninkables, Artabax has quite a few. He's got his own Merfolk. He's got a Mother Knows Best. He's got a Rabbit. The Snake helps drawn into that, so we can kind of protect bounce our own Merfolk if we wish. And gets rid of his only song, which is Sudden Chill, which is good when your opponent could potentially drop an Ursula. Well, no, sorry, he has Mother Knows Best as well.
Got rid of the inkable one. Like, that's the worst, is you're like, oh, I've got two choices. Well, obviously they're going to take the inkable one.
Right.
The Mother Knows Best is like, it's not great. But Artabax knows its secret powers, and he kind of showed it to us last game. He did discard it, but it was in his hand. We knew it could do its thing. It was the backup plan, right? Like, if we needed to. Mother Knows discard.
And that entire Merlin Mim package is chomping and ready at the bit. Very good chance we could see this Ursula 3-drop get inked now that we know there's no songs to take advantage of it with. Merfolk is completely safe here to quest, as there's nothing we can do to threaten it on turn 2 in this particular deck. The joys of not going against Steel. You're like, oh, I can safely do this. I'm not just going to get blown apart.
Yeah, I mean, also, you're playing Ursula too. You're playing Kit, so you can bounce, sing, like, being able to play Kit on the play to bounce, say, a Vanessa or a Cindy, to not allow them to instantly sing the next turn is pretty good. The Ursula 2 to hit their only relevant card. Like, yeah, Amber Steel is very good, and it sings its songs, but if you take the whole new world, so they don't get a free 7-card hand, like...
That's crippling. Yeah, that can just stop that deck in its tracks. So since we have full hand knowledge, obviously I don't want Artabax to go in on the Ursula because he's not going to get anything. I like the Snake here, which can help you set up a challenge. But it looks like Artabax doesn't fully trust that and wants to know, hold on, what do you have? That Hypnotize is not a song, so we'll get a peek, but we're not going to get to discard anything. So
Moyen's not on Ursula 3 as well. So normally in this matchup, We'll go to story time since the game looks like it's having a little bit of lag, so we've got some time. When I played in DLC Atlanta, the Emerald Steel list at the time was the Merfolk Flynn Rider variant.
Okay, yeah.
So you also played Ursula 2s. But if you knew it was the mirror, you mulled away your songs. So they whiffed on playing the Ursula 2.
Yeah.
You hope to top deck the song a turn or two. And they still have to answer your Ursula 3. So lots of times, if they don't answer your Ursula 3, you're golden, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I found... So if everyone's mulling away their songs and playing Ursula 2 on turn 2, they're going to whiff more, right? Yeah. So the next level is not playing your Ursula 2 on turn 2. Waiting until turn 4. Double carding and hitting the removal they just top decked the turn before they get a double sing it with Ursula 3.
Very nice.
This is a turn that maybe he could have done that. But there's no Ursula 3s on Moyen's side, so he doesn't really have that signifier to be like, oh, this is the super scary thing I need to hold it for. It's kind of like, get lucky, get good.
Yeah.
Like...
So we hard cast with our ink a Hypnotize to make Artabax discard a Goat. Then we challenged the Merfolk with Ursula and discarded a Cricky for the Merfolk effect, which means now on Artabax's turn, he did get into a Friends. He could clean up this board if he goes Ursula, take out the Merfolk, Fox bounce. He would probably have to give up the Snake to do that. But then what do you ink?
He'd have to give up everything to do that.
Yeah, because you need to ink. Well, yeah, because then you'd still have to discard either. I guess you could discard the Ursula. You really don't want to give up your card draw, which is Friends or Rabbit.
I think he has to ink the fox and play friends, and I hate this play. I don't
Yeah.
like any of the plays. We need more cards to ink things, but we need to get this rabbit. We've got duplicate bounces. The question is do we value the rush on the snake more, or on the fox more, or the cheap cost of the snake? And the reason I would keep snake over it is if I'm trying to do the bounce play, I'm
It's
going to get to
cheaper.
6 a lot faster, yeah. And
Yeah.
maybe I could bounce back my 2 and do it. That said, the 4-3 rush is pretty good. Our opponent has 2 characters in play. Like, the fox kind of eats it all up.
Oh, he inked the friends. Wow.
I
That is
don't
not what I
care.
was expecting.
He's going for your first play, taking down the board.
Yeah. Says, know what?
And,
I can still hold on to the rabbit. That's what's important.
well, he gets to keep the ink from the Ursula as well, so it's
Yeah.
fine. And like as I said, I didn't like playing friends, but I was kind of trying to think of what gains me the most cards. But maybe he thought about a few turns in a row and decided I can't deal with him committing more threats to play. If
Right.
Moyen was just like 2 lore threat, and Artabax ignored him,
Yeah.
that could be backbreaking. So that's a good sign of respect from Artabax to be like, hey, I'm not the aggressor here. I need to stop the aggression and hope to take advantage of this rabbit. It's all about the rabbit. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Well, I was gonna
really
say, Luke, do you like
unfortunate.
rabbits? Because we're about to see rabbit on rabbit action. As one rabbit
It,
deserves another.
it's just really unfortunate to have to have inked the friends and
Yeah.
discarded the snake, because these are the cards that we want to use to get more.
To quote Mark Twain, there was a famous quote he said, and it was about writing, where he said, "You have to be able to kill your darlings." So in this instance, you got to be able to ink your darlings, right? Sometimes you
Yep.
got to ink those cards for the betterment of the
And
game.
and that's a skill check, honestly. Because all right, so you have the people who are like, you never ink goat, right?
Yeah.
If you're good, you can figure out a way never to ink goat, and people live by that. They're like, no, don't ink goat, and then they miss their 4th ink. Like,
Right.
brah, you cannot tell me that Ed is going to not ink his goat with 6 cards in hand and is going to
Right.
skip his ink. Like, no, like there's almost no absolute. There's probably 0 absolutes in these games. There's
Yeah.
always going to be a scenario that you're going to do something that the common conception is that it's wrong, and you're going to look enormously brilliant when it pays
Mhm.
off.
Yeah, well, and it's that's the biggest advice I give to new players too, is be adaptable. That yeah, normally you might not want to ink your go to your friends, but maybe there's a situation you need to. That is the right play that keeps you in the game. As Artabax or Moyen sets up a fox, bounces the rabbit, as well as gets his merfolk on the field. You know, I don't know why, Luke. There's just this small piece of me that always gets a little happy when I play a fox and I don't challenge with it, or there's nothing to challenge. It's like I'm just gonna keep it ready. Like it's kind of like Maui. It's a card that almost always enters sideways, so it's kind of nice when it gets to stay upright. We don't have another way to bounce on Artabax's side, so this rabbit cannot continue to generate us card value. Looks like we hard cast sudden. No, okay, we haven't moved. Sorry, Artabax's screen is a little choppy, so
Just
I think we
committing
quested with.
characters.
Yeah, we just quested with the fox and added a crab.
So this is kind of a rough spot. Artabax is running out of ink, running out of cards.
Ooh, we had more rabbits on Moyen's side. Moyen has definitely got the card advantage right now.
Yeah, and this game, Artabax doesn't have a bunch of lore, so Moyen kind of gets to do his thing with a little bit less urgency, to say. Another Cricky.
Man, I love Cricky so much. Such a good entry effect. Plus that 3 lore, like, it's good.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Rapunzel trap.
Yeah,
If
right.
you do not play around it, it will win you the game, or win your opponent the game, I should say.
So we'll quest with the merfolk. Go up to 7. We could trade foxes here. Heck, you could even trade your rabbit if you. No, rabbit just came down, I think. Or no, Cricky. Cricky is inked, or was he played? I think Cricky was inked.
That is inked.
Okay.
We played the rabbit and drew
Rabbit.
the second copy of Cricky.
So we could trade foxes if we want to.
I like that
I don't know if you
Artabax's
want to.
board right now looks like both of the bear paws are sudden chills. He's got
Right.
chill paws.
He's got those chill paws. Careful, it'll make you discard. You lose your hand. Literally. If a bear swipes at you. Actually, just quests. Yeah, Moyen's saying, hey, I feel like I'm the one in a good spot right now. You answer me. What are you going to do about it? We do
Ooh.
draw friends off. Oh, what a perfect time for friends, Luke. Luke, Artabax was feeling a little lonely. That bear needed some help.
He was feeling a chill, and then some friends from the other side came along, and they gave him some advice. And what advice did they give him? Well, something the mother told him. You know, that crab, the friends on the other side said, you know, my mother always knew best. And she said, don't get got.
And we got an Ursula with 3 great songs in hand. Uh-oh, this could turn pretty quick.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Ursula get played and possibly just Fox trading with Fox and then passing.
Yeah, let the
It's
merfolk.
rough. Maybe Fox trading with Fox and then taking out the merfolk with the rabbit. The thing is, I don't really want to discard a card. If I'm going to double sing Sudden Chill, I want to be able to play the other one. Or I want to have it set up that I can double sing Mother Knows Best and just play 2 Sudden Chills to hit it out of their hand or something like that. Like, I want to take advantage of both.
Well, especially since it feels like Artabax is a little behind right now, I personally, I would go for the greedy play. Put out the Ursula and go, because if she sticks around, man, you can really start doing some damage to Moyen. But also, yeah, what else could he really do here? You don't want to bounce the rabbit. You don't want to bounce Fox. Spending 3 to bounce Merfolk doesn't really feel worth it.
It's kind of a rough spot for Artabax. Like, he has outs. He has paths to victory, but it's going to be close. He's going to have to ink things. He's going to have to discard things. He's not going to want to, and Moyen has a lot of card draw.
Yeah, and Artabax has gone second this game too, but you've just seen his inking troubles. Moyen is ahead of him by 2 inks, so he's missed a turn.
Yeah, he can't even play an Elsa without inking if he draws it.
Yeah. I definitely like trading the foxes. I think the less foxes, the better. I don't know if you want to hit the merfolk or not. You want to stop the lore, of course, but like you said, I don't know if you really want to give up any of these cards in hand. Rabbit is actually going to sing Mother Knows Best on itself. Goes for a little more ink, so he does get a small Ursula.
He's like, you know what? I want this Mother Knows Best to turn into ink. That's what I want.
Yeah. And actually just replays the rabbit, does not set up the Ursula. Okay, so Artabax seems content to play it slow here and gets rid of the Ursula. Wow, all right, Luke, that was not what I was expecting.
So without discarding the Ursula to the Fox to take out the merfolk, without Prince John in the deck, the Sudden Chill game plan is a little bit worse. So if he's deciding he can't get rid of all of Moyen's cards, so it's not worth it, maybe that's what he's going for, and he's going to say, instead of discarding cards, I'm going to focus on my own drawing of cards.
Yeah. As we get another fox. Moyen loves his foxes. Cue the Taylor Swift song, because he's got 2 foxes in hand, 1 on the board, which means Moyen is not going to be running out of cards anytime soon, as this rabbit is going to be on a trampoline just boing, boing, boing. Actually does trade the rabbit, knowing we have another one in hand. Gets our own Sudden Chill. I see we're just going to play the next rabbit.
The Sudden Chills for Moyen are so much better right now than the Sudden Chills for Artabax. To be fair, it's a chill on chill game,
right?
Most likely, but
chill on chill action.
He's just a chill guy. He's vibing. He's hanging out outside of someone's door, freaking out the puppies. Like,
right.
I can't even remember this song from the movie. I'm assuming this was just like right as the puppies were being born and she was like barging into their house.
So it's actually a lyric from the song Cruella de Vil. It's something like da 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 to give a sudden chill, Cruella, Cruella de Vil. So it's just one of the lyrics from the song.
Correct. He's mocking her. That's probably one of my favorite songs, just for the fact that, like, it's rarely are the songs known to be songs like,
Yeah.
yeah, everyone breaks into song all the time, it's just
Right.
what happens. Like, no, this is like a normal realistic society where this dude is just like, yeah, I write songs, I'm gonna make fun of this crazy old lady who's
Yeah.
trying to kill a bunch of dogs. He doesn't know she's doing that, he just knows that she's a scary old rich lady, right?
Mm-hmm. Artabax is finally getting to his bounce plan. Like you said, he's probably just going to give up on these sudden chills at this point. Because there's not a whole lot of reason to keep him around, especially with Moyen's hand being so large. So we can ink one. We can just replay the rabbit.
What
Yeah,
you
it's like the
got?
song. It's like the
Oh,
song "Strength of a Raging Fire." Technically, the song is called "Make a Man Out of You." That's just a lyric from it. As we see our impending doom in the form of Iago, Rabbit,
we hit. We
Fox.
hit.
We got a card at least.
And it's interesting because like sudden chill's not fantastic for Moyen to play there. So it's like a good read from Artabax to be like, there's a high chance that there's a midish song. I don't have
Mm-hmm.
anything else. Like the 1/3 is good enough. I need to get some lore in play. Let's do this. And hits.
You know, you
That's
made
what
the
he
point about
wants.
Prince John earlier, and I think you're seeing it right now that that's why so many people dislike that card is the discard without the card draw does not feel nearly as powerful.
Yet some people think sudden chill should be banned. The card was. I remember seeing sudden chill and thinking to myself, why was this even printed? I never thought I would play it. All right. It
Yeah.
took two things to happen for sudden chill to see play. And I don't think I ever play sudden chill if I am not playing both of those things in my deck. And
Mm,
that is Ursula 3 and Prince John. Now,
yeah.
granted, this Artabax style list, there's been a few people. I think I copied one deck list that didn't run Ursula 3 but ran Sudden Chill, and
Yeah.
I felt wrong. I felt as if I abandoned an old friend at a train station and just forgot to pick them up.
Moyen has cards for days as he bounces his rabbit, as a little rabbit bounce action. Well, and I think the difference between song and action really affects a lot of these cards, right? There's so many cards like Strength of a Raging Fire, Storm. It's like if you have to pay 3 for that, I don't mind it at all. Same with Sudden Chill. But when you can just do it for free, that's when it becomes super strong.
Yeah, and think of like Smash. Smash would be a
Yeah.
very good song.
Oh, absolutely.
Most cards would be better as a song, and then sometimes it's like, you know what? I wish it wasn't a song.
Yeah, there's
Because
rare instances.
just so I could play it and not get it sniped. Like, it would be nice if there was some sort of equivalency that you could argue that a Smash costed card was just as good as a song variant.
Mm-hmm.
And you could have arguments to be like, well, I'm not playing songs in my deck, I'm playing the actions to play around
Yeah.
Ursula 2. And not just be at a complete disadvantage because Strength and Storm are so good.
Right. That Fox gets snake bit as Artabax is slowly crawling his way back into this board. Moyen has essentially just been drawing cards for the last couple of turns, doing a lot of rabbits and rabbit bouncing. So he hasn't been putting on a lot of lore pressure though. So Artabax is absolutely nearly caught up. He's only 3 lore away now from being tied.
Judge Phil in chat says, I only speak English and bad English. Just like me.
I have to assume this merfolk's
More
probably
rabbits.
getting cleaned up. More rabbit. Not enough card draw. You know what this deck needs? More card draw.
Yeah, we can easily send Peter Pan out to take down some poor, unfortunate merfolk.
Mm-hmm.
Probably get rid of a Sir Hiss here, even though I don't think Moyen's inked. So the question is, are we discarding Sir Hiss inking Sir Hiss, playing a Sir Hiss? What are we discarding, actually? Sir Hiss is being aggressive. I like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and Sir Hiss has rush, doesn't he?
Yeah. So we're probably just discarding an Iago. The question is, which do you exert? I think it has to be the Peter Pan, because we know Artabax has Elsa.
Yeah.
So if Artabax plays an Elsa there, we kind of get super punished. We know he doesn't have it yet, but it's that card? Nope.
Nope.
I tried
Little
to
one
channel
cost
it.
Diablo. A card I don't mind seeing late game in Ruby Amethyst with a library on board, but in this deck definitely feels a bit weaker.
So are you drawing a card by throwing away your rabbit and trading? Are you singing friends? Are you questing and doing other things? And probably not that one, but
You may-
two
you-
cards in hand. The friends are looking pretty good right now.
Yeah.
Moyen's at 10 lore, though. It's a 3-turn clock. We do have some aggressiveness. Oh, and there's the Elsa.
Okay, hold up.
So Hiss is down. The problem is yeah, you got to get the cards out of hand first. Step 1, stop the refill.
Yeah.
And now we get to devote some more. We probably Ink Goat play
Diablo. Ooh, I
Diablo.
think that'd be a second goat he's given up, but he may have to.
That's not the game plan we're in right now, I don't think. But maybe it is. We do just get to play the Diablo. Oh, we're going to Ink. I'm just bad. Artabax is like, no, you don't eat goats, Wonder. You don't eat goats.
I mean, but I kind of agree with you though. Like, I think you need card draw at this point, and you're only on 7. That you're not going to bounce your way to victory. I think in this match.
I mean, the kit bouncing the Diablo would have been kind of frustrating, but at the same time, then we just ink it maybe, or just keep it for another turn. Kit bounce rabbit. That would be a play of plays.
Really?
Play of plays. All right.
I'm not. I think I would have rather just given up the Sir Hiss for that, but no. He says I want the lore pressure. What are you gonna do? He's saying, what are you gonna do? You only have so much rush in this deck. Like, you cannot answer this board. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lore on board. I'm going to 19 next turn. If I draw a goat, it's over right there.
I think that Elsa and Crab are gonna combo to take out.
Well, he can't play both
Peter
this
Pan.
turn.
Yeah, he can. Oh, I was looking at his
6.
lore.
I know. I get that confused all the time.
Oh.
He can do Peter Pan and Crab if he wants to take out the other Peter Pan. I don't know if that's really worth it, but
kind of has to.
Or you take out Rabbit, maybe. Yeah, he takes out the Peter Pan.
Take out Pan to prevent a rush.
Anything coming off the top, yeah.
This
is looking very good for Moyen.
Prince John off the top, ward threat, no hypnotize. All right.
Well, I mean, it's a discard. Probably get rid of one of these Elsas. You might even get rid of the rabbit if you feel like you need both Elsas.
That's the thing, is it's like you might need the Elsas. This is rough.
Yeah, he's going to have to. He knows I need as much challenging power as possible.
As Moyen, what do you think when you see that discard? Right? You're like, wait, what?
Hold up.
Oh, all right, the game's over. The game's over.
Okay, that's brutal. And this is why we don't talk about Bruno. Because it's going to come in, send the crab. I mean, he'll at least retain a single Elsa. Maybe both if he hits the crab.
He has Lorthel still, though. He goes to 18, and then he gets to crack back. Oh, I guess, never mind. I forgot the Robin Hood, or the
Sir Hiss.
Peter Pan's still there. He needs to keep the crab, I think, actually.
Over that one of the Elsas? Yeah, well, so he gets to keep it.
So he can draw an ink, play Crab and Elsa, and then put Moyen to one character. Or no, it still is only 2.
Yeah, he has to answer 3 characters this turn, which I don't think he can.
I was thinking Crab had Rush, but it doesn't. All right, we're going to the next game.
He needs to play Rabbit, and if he draws Mother Knows... Well, no, then, because he can't play the Elsa. Never mind. So there's no way out of this. I believe Moyen played Hypnotize. Looks like we're having a judge call. He played Hypnotize and Bruno.
Did he draw?
Okay.
He didn't draw a card off the Bruno. So, yeah, he drew a card off the Hypnotize. Yeah, I don't...
I think they were just... Yeah, I don't know what they were checking, but just doing a quick check to...
Yep.
And Artabax is going to scoop it up. Well, the good news is, so I don't think Artabax has gotten to go first once, right? He's gone second both times, so he will get to be on the play this time. Do you think, Luke, looking back on that, do you think there's anything he could have done differently? I mean, he made a lot of different choices. Maybe he should have gone for the Ursula. Would that have mattered, do you think?
It's so hard to say there. The game would have been completely different.
Sure.
Could it have been different in his favor? Yes. Could it have made him lose 3 turns sooner? Yes. It's a weird scenario. He held on to those sudden chills, ended up being able to use both of them.
Yeah.
And just wasn't able to get what he needed off the top. Whereas in the 2 cards, I mean, the Cricky in hand was kind of scary just because it's 3 lore. And Moyen was at 10. But in general, like, it's kind of mid there. Chat, in a few minutes, you're asking why did Moyen not rush Sir Hiss in Quest with Peter Pan? The reasoning for that is if Sir Hiss was to challenge, and Elsa could take that out, even though Elsa could have anyways. So
Yeah.
I think step one is Elsa takes it out. Step two is realizing Elsa takes it out no matter what, so you should have
Yeah.
done it. So it's probably just like a thought where it's like play around Elsa and then forgot about it and then didn't play around anymore.
Yeah.
So I guess this is going to be, is Kit going to come down on turn 3 for Moyen to stop Artabax's turn 3 curve? Is Artabax just going to drop a crab and be like, hey, I don't care about your Kit because I've got this?
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe deploy a couple of cards that Kit can hit in one turn to be like, who cares? Or if Artabax is like Merfolk Flynn, which he kept a Flynn, by the way. Where's the Merfolk? Why are they? What is with the 2 drops and 5 drops?
Holy moly! 2s and 5s.
Is...
That's all. That is not what you want to see when you're going first.
I was playing against Ruby Amethyst in game 3. Winner makes Continentals, and I kept an Ursula 2 as the only card just to have something to play on curve, mold 6, and I drew all 3s and above. I played the Ursula 2, saw my opponent's hand of Maui, Maui, Castle, 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 and I knew I'd lost the game, and I lost that game pretty rough.
Well, and Moyen's 1-drops have no strength. He has Diablo and Merfolk, so man, Merfolk would have absolutely cleaned up here for Artabax.
Yeah, Merfolk would have done some work. Instead, we might not even be playing Flynn Rider on 2. We might be playing Ursula just to hope to snag a song from Moyen's hand.
Oof.
But is Moyen's just going to, even if he hits an inkable song, or a song, he can just ink it. I don't think he has any uninkable songs. He does not. So even if he draws one, he has to actively choose to keep it in hand for that Ursula 2 to matter.
Ink Elsa pass, I guess.
I think we have to ink. All right, because we have 2 Ursula 2s, I think you have to ink one to try to hope Moyen doesn't ink a song if he has it to make the second one good. The question, or the issue is that Moyen is probably too good to be got by that.
Yeah.
So then it's like, well, do you ink the extra 5? Are you ever going to be playing both Ursula 2s? I cannot see a world that one of these Ursula 2s is not being inked in the first 3 turns. Might as well start now, and that's what Artabax
100%
does.
correct. So since you've missed your 1-drop, in your mind as Artabax, do you just assume, do you just play this as if you're going second anyway now? That like, I can't be the aggressor. Does. Yeah. Oh, if he sees this Merfolk come out.
Like, if Moyen plays Merfolk, you are the defender now.
Yep.
If Moyen had played Diablo, I think you could still be aggressive. That said, this isn't terrible. I just hope that Artabax has the soul read and is like, you know what? You didn't even ink a song. I bet you don't have any. I know your list is all inkable songs. There's just no way, right? And he just has to hope that somehow Moyen's hand isn't like friends, sudden chill. And he's just like, I've got enough. Who cares?
I mean, it's just hard to say. I'm partial to the Flynn. He could challenge if you need to. And looks like, that's what we're going to go with as well.
I think I like this line more.
Could go double 1-drop here on Moyen's side too. Obviously, you can easily bounce Snake. You can do your own Ursula to scout. You actually have a lot of options. You could go Diablo, Chernabog, just go wide.
Just rub in. Be like, oh, Artabax must be rough not having a 1-drop. Look at how I have 3.
He's juggling them. All these 1-drops, they're falling out of my hands. I've got too many.
Moyen going to the tank. And a lot of people are like, why are they playing so slow? Hurry it up. It's like, these first 3 turns are sometimes the most important turns in the entire game, as it sets up your curve. You're deciding what you're going to do. Yes, sometimes it's an easy choice. Other times you're like, well, do I commit all this ink and things to play and then maybe miss ink later? Or do I commit to a slower draw and don't double 2? Do I just play the Ursula 2? And we saw Artabax ink a song. So
Yeah.
that puts in Moyen's mind, does he have multiple songs? He's playing Ursula 3. There's multiple songs in the deck, but he inked one. Does he have another one? Do we risk it? Do I double one? There's choices.
I like the double one play. Well, he's not going to go for it. I liked it too, just because if you really wanted to, you could just send the Chernabog into the Flynn, like if you felt like you had to get rid of it. But Snake is also very safe. You're under no lore pressure from Artabax. So you're just saying, hey, if you exert that Flynn, he's going to get snake bit.
It's kind of rough.
And Peter Pan is not a good answer to Snake either.
No, no, it's not. And we play it.
Oh, and he's going to see. I mean, he'll get the hand knowledge, but we're going to get a miss on that discard.
This is rough because now we're committed to having to ink a much more powerful card,
Mm-hmm.
as well as not really be able to quest too nicely. I mean, yeah, we can do it, but we can't clear it.
Yeah. You'll get a card out of their hand at least, but this does not feel good.
Maybe I'm
in a rough
crazy,
spot.
but I kind of think I would have just quested, inked an Ursula, and played the Peter Pan. And then we have multiple choices. We draw an inkable, we ink it, we go double Flynn, and
Yeah.
then we hope to run them out of cards through the Flynn triggers while maybe questing and pushing through and hoping that Moyen doesn't have an evasive. And then maybe that our fancy Elsa's going to do something. And then we're also on the top of our deck where it's like, okay, so if we top deck a good 3 or 4, we can play it and then use the Flynn's ink. It also would have put the Ursula in Inkwell, leaving us 2 Elsas to be able to then play on turn 5 and 6.
It looks like he's going to ink the kit. I was going to say, I actually don't even hate just playing the kit, but he's actually going to say, nope, I'm going to hit your hand just like you're going to hit mine, as Artabax looks like he's going to be forced to give up that uninkable. Oh, man.
Without an Iago already in hand, and knowing that there's no Diablos, the Peter Pan loses some of his oomph.
And you wouldn't want to just run the Peter Pan into the snake. That means that snake took out 5 ink from you.
Well, hey, and there's a good 4, so we ink a Flynn, play goat, pass the turn.
Goat's not bad.
I say it like that, hoping that Artabax is like, no, you're so silly. We're inking goat and we're playing the 2 Flynns. Come on now.
As Artabax's camera went black. It is matching the despair he is surely feeling. This is not how his game going first he pictured going in his head, I'm sure.
Who?
I think Moyen might still be able to see, though.
Apparently.
Yeah, Moyen's still going through his turn. And they're not seeing the chat. Yeah, players are still playing. As Moyen inks an Ursula and plays a rabbit, I can only guess that Artabax potentially inked a Flynn and then put out a goat.
I'm assuming that the judge is talking to them about it.
Yeah.
All right, looks like we're fixing that. We'll go back to this screen. Let's look at our lovely competitors again.
Hey, look at them. Good smiles.
And we're back.
Okay, we're back. There we go. Okay, so he did play the goat. He actually has both Flynn, so what was the other card he had that he
Elsa.
inked? It was Elsa, okay. There goes one Flynn. Oh, man, this is looking rough. This is the most lopsided one I think we've seen today. Oh, well, we do get rabbit off the top. That's exactly what we needed.
It's not bad. It's not great. We don't have any more bounce, so we might not be committing the goat. Kind of have to hope that Moyen doesn't have more discard to take our last fleeting few cards away.
Yeah. Yeah, there's an argument he doesn't even ink this turn, right? Just to keep that hand advantage of letting him decide what to throw away. Because I think you want this crab. If you can have Ursula trade with the snake, I think, or even the rabbit. know what that Flynn's going to do a whole lot for you at this point.
Yeah, I think I would have wanted to keep Elsa, but I guess the thought process is being able to drop double Flynn if there was no discard, like, could be what we need. Artabax's draw has been kind of rough, though.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to make choices every turn, basically, that could decide on whether or not the next play is good. Like, you can't just be like, oh, that play was a mistake. Well, it's like, maybe in retrospect, it didn't, like, work out well because then they made these choices, and then I drew different cards that made me change my plays. I didn't draw the outs I was playing to. So it's like, yeah, sure, one person won, but that doesn't mean they necessarily even played correctly. Like, I've definitely lost games to my opponent just throwing cards down, and my deck being like, no, you're going to lose, and there's nothing you can do about it. Granted, Lorcana has fixed some of those issues, but occasionally you can be ink screwed.
Oh, absolutely.
Very rarely.
A clean rabbit bounce Fox. Take a bite out of the Ursula and establish 2 1-drops. We have the rabbit, but no way to bounce it. You probably don't want to send it into Fox, or maybe you do. You're just desperate for card draw at this point. Yeah, it looks like he might do that. Just saying, I need to draw something. Well, he draws a sudden chill. That can hurt our opponent's hand. Doesn't help us so much. So we establish Crab and Merfolk.
It's actually not a bad draw here because of the Lucifer.
Yeah.
It was secretly quite the good draw, because I feel like there's no way Lucifer doesn't get played here. 2 cards in hand, highly unlikely that it's an action, and even if it is, like, hitting a friend's is okay.
Flynn was about to fall off a cliff, and Sudden Chill's going to jump in front of him and go, no, and protect him.
Cruella de Vil using that money to protect Flynn Rider.
I'll buy my way out of this. I could use a rogue like this, a scoundrel on my team.
Exactly.
As there comes Lucifer the Cat. For those of you who haven't seen this card in a while, your opponent must discard 2 cards from hand unless they discard an action. Then they only have to discard that 1 card.
If only we had a feature to show it on screen for people to read.
But such technology eludes us in this day and age.
Yeah, another rabbit. This Flynn Rider, so close to coming into play, yet so far.
He's just sitting on the bench. Put me in, coach. Come on. Come on. I'm waiting. I've been here since turn 1.
So I definitely like not. This is rough.
I know. You don't want to give him a card. You don't want to discard yourself.
Oh, no. We're going to get got now because of it. But we're gaining lore.
Also would have been really nice against the Lucifer. We've got the bodies, though. That's the one thing, is that Artabax actually has the bigger body, right? The Crab's putting in some work right now.
If that was a Prince John off the top.
Oh, man.
That would have just been so dirty. We'll draw the Prince John off of the Hypnotize.
Luke called it. Will it happen?
Nope.
Not quite.
Probably a much better card for Moyen right now.
Yeah.
With a Diablo in play.
Yeah, if Moyen quests out, this is looking. I don't want to say it's looking good for Artabax because he has no hand, but it looked worse. I'll say that.
It's an interesting choice where we can ink the Hiss and play the Robin, but we probably don't want to discard the Cricky or the Rabbit.
Yeah.
Whereas Cricky lets us kind of wipe the opposing board cleanly.
And if we plan to challenge, I don't know if we plan to challenge the Merfolk this turn with the Lucifer, but that's another card we're going to have to account for.
Oh, so we're just playing it and passing. Huh.
Off the top, friends.
I think I would have much preferred inking the Surhis and playing the Peter Pan, as that also opens up bounce rabbit options a little more. Like, I like developing my ink, especially if I'm expecting to draw a couple of cards over turns.
Yeah. Artabax is taking back lore pressure. Goes all the way up to 11. He's halfway there. And he has the Ursula established, which means if he's lucky enough to get a song off the top, he could actually just sing his way right back into this game.
also would have allowed us to have been able to play an Iago with Rush and not have to play the Cricky if we didn't want to. And one issue I also like about inking the Hiss and playing the Pan is the Pan can then take out the Rabbit off the Cricky.
Yeah.
And not get banished. So then you can trade Diablo with Crab, draw a card, use Lucifer on the Merfolk, discard a random card that you draw, and then use the Peter Pan to take out the Rabbit.
Diablo with no strength is going to come in and just nip that crab and they take each other out. We can easily send in Hiss and Lucifer if we want to. Both cards would trade with a Rabbit. Obviously, he can take out Merfolk pretty easily. And who knew crickets were so strong?
Anyone who saw Mulan did.
That's fair, yeah. To quote Mushu, you are one lucky bug.
I mean, he is a lucky lucky cricket.
Yeah.
It's his whole point. And I guess luck is equal to willpower or strength.
Snake taking out a Merfolk, I can see. A cat losing in a fight to a rabbit. A bit strange. Oh, we drew Fox off the top. That would have been so nice. Bruno is a great song, except Ursula cannot double sing that one.
And we have to ink Fox to do it.
Yeah. Maybe you have to. This is not good. I mean, he's not in a great spot regardless. You could just try to hold, I guess, like hope you get a rabbit so you can potentially Fox bounce it. Although that's still going to take 2 turns. You don't have the ink to do that in 1 turn.
This is unfortunate.
You can't quest with this Ursula.
It's like Artabax's list is a little more geared for being aggressive, and once tempo is stopped, it's really hard to pick that back up. We needed to hit another rabbit there or something like that to be able to refill our hand.
Even friends, so we could double sing friends. Like, oh man.
The game would be anyone's game, leaning it probably in Artabax's favor if that had been a friends instead of We Don't Talk About Bruno.
Do you just hold here, or would you like doing the Bruno? Do you even want to get rid of the Cricky, potentially? It slows the lore down at least. Because otherwise your opponent's going to 10.
I really don't like losing 2 cards to just return a Cricky to my opponent's hand.
Yeah.
So it's like your option is quest, bounce, ink or not ink, pass the turn. Or ink pass. And it looks like Artabax is going for lore. It's like, all right, this is how I win this game.
It's how he got game 1, right? He eventually wasn't able to answer the board, but he just said, hey. Granted, he looked at he had better cards in hand than in that game, but
so this is like a scenario that you're in a rough spot, and you're just going to do whatever you can to try to slowly get there.
Mm-hmm.
While your opponent
says, I'll draw my own cards. Don't mind if I do.
Breaks your morale with rabbits.
I'm assuming Hiss is going to sing a sudden chill.
It's a cold snake.
That is a very cold snake. Cricky's going to put 3 on the board, take us all the way up to 9. Fox can trade with it. And then, of course, we have nothing on board. Well, there's Crab. That doesn't help a whole lot here.
That does not do too much.
It establishes another body, so like you could hit the rabbit if it quests, but we're going to put the Ursula out and just hope. Please.
Yeah, but Moyen has it, right? Is just going to bounce the...
Oh, yeah, he can just use the kit.
And the Fox. So we get a quest, bounce rabbit, draw a card, see if we draw a worse card that we want to ink. Most likely it'll be Sir Hiss, but who knows? And it's...
Ooh, there's that friends that Artabax wishes he had. He needs friends right now, Luke. Go be his friend.
I would love to be Artabax's friend, but Kit is just being rude.
Yeah, he's right. He's like, hey, man, I'm trying to surf here, bro. Kit sounds nothing like that. But...
I was there for you, Artabax. A turn late. I'm sorry.
The text was too late coming through. He just got it. Oh, heartbreak. And a sudden, oh man, oh man, just to tease. Kit says, "Hey, a little friend singing. Don't mind if I do. I got friends on the other side." And Artabax is like, "Yeah, I get it."
I don't remember Kit sounding like that.
No, he didn't. I don't know why I came with that voice for him.
You're like, I hated that little
Right.
whippersnapper. He just constantly getting in trouble. He was just a dirty sky pirate.
Right.
Taking advantage of good old Baloo, getting into no good, and just being like, but I'm a boy, I'm a little child.
What do we
Doesn't know
got?
how
1, 2,
privileged
3,
he
4,
is.
5, 6, 7. Man, double friends will be nice, but it's just too late at this point.
Yeah. We have all the cards. It's like Moyen in game 1. All the cards, but too late.
Yeah. Oh man. Granted, even if he'd gotten, if the Ursula hadn't gotten bounced, Moyen is so far ahead. I don't know if that would have changed, but would have liked to have seen it. As this is very much looking like Moyen's game. I mean, the joy of when you know you're not going against a Ruby deck, right? You know there's no be prepared. There's no way to reset this board. Artabax is going to have to pick off each character piece by piece by piece. We even got another song, too, with a sudden chill. Granted, this Ursula probably isn't going to survive unless Moyen just says, meh, whatever, you can keep her. I'm going to quest 18. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, it's kind of rough here for the people's hero, Artabax.
Well, there's our own Kit. Presumably bounce the Merfolk, because it's the most lore on the board. And can we establish anything else? We can get a Flynn. I mean, it is one strength. Can take out a
We go to 17?
Diablo.
Then we have to take out 3 characters and the readied ones.
Mhm.
This game is unfortunately over.
If Moyen doesn't hit the Ursula and we draw like Mother Knows Best and can bounce 2 things, maybe we got a chance. But I imagine, yeah, here comes a crab. Ursula's going bye-bye. Peter Pan will take her out. So Moyen doesn't even have to give up his questing power for this and just goes as wide as he possibly can. Says, you know what? I will go to 0 cards in hand. I'll do you that favor.
Seems like a fair and reasonable thing to do.
Woo, and that is the game. Congratulations to Moyen as he takes it 2-1, even on the play there in game 3.
Only undefeated player.
Very impressive.
Played a few different lists. Hopefully they'll be joining us here shortly in Discord for an interview. I assume they'll be here for an interview. It would make sense. So what do you think was the MVP? It wasn't Prince John. He wasn't out enough.
Really wasn't a lot of discard. Probably just the Merlin Min package, right? Like rabbits and bouncing rabbits. That kind of seemed to be the key to the game, and that's what kept Moyen's hand healthy. Like Moyen, I don't think ever really had a bad hand in any of the 3 games. He was always able to keep his hand advantage and his hand healthy. Do you have what do you think? Do you have a different opinion?
I mean, I think I agree with that. Like, it definitely seemed really important there. There was some aggressive. Oh, there we go. All right. That was some intense games, gentlemen. Intense.
Yeah, that was intense.
A little bit unfortunate for Artabax in game 3, keeping a Flynn Rider, mulling 6 and seeing 1,002 drops and 5 drops, no 1s, no 3s. Really unfortunate there.
It happens. Yeah.
I can't wait for you to watch back and be like, I can't believe Wonder would have done all those plays, because I was not predicting your moves as much as I had hoped I would have been able to. Both of you, like, I got a lot of them, but then you're just like, well, what about this? What about this? And one of those cases was you just opted not even to care about Ursula 3. Was that game 2 or was that game 3? That was game
think it was two, right? When he inked it, is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah, inked the Ursula 3, and then we kept I think our hand was Sudden Chill, Mother Knows Best, Ursula 3. And you had to like go through the motions of being like, which is good, which is bad. Do you remember this? You want to tell us your thought process as you were through there?
Yeah, the problem is that I know Moyen plays for kit, and then if he has the kit on the spot, I lose the game probably immediately. So it's like a very risky play there. Also, I had not that much. That much out of it. I don't know what. I don't remember exactly what I did then. I think I had a 2 and a 1-drop, and I wanted to apply more pressure or something. I don't know exactly what was there. But Ursula in this matchup, like I didn't predict this matchup. Also, I built a deck not predicting this matchup, and I think in this matchup, Ursula 3 is very, very risky. But like everything goes about bot control, and then if I play the Ursula and he has the kit on the spot, then I lose so much tempo that it's hard to recover from. And my goal in this matchup is like to pressure him that much, because if he goes for the Prince John value thing, then it's hard for me. But I have a lot more reach and low pressure, and that's kind of how I win against him, because he has not much removal in his deck. Yeah, so that were my thoughts. Like sometimes you have to go for your outs, and yeah. I mean, I don't say it's always correct or something. That's not what I want to say.
You had like a dozen plays you got to choose from on that turn, and I think a few of them were quite reasonable. And you got quite the payoff as Moyen emptied most of his hand, and then you got the double discard. But then Moyen's over there like, nah, I'm gonna draw some bangers off the top of my deck. I'm finishing this game. You're not stopping me. How worried were you in that game too, Moyen? After game 1, it looked like you had everything, and then he's just like, no, I have the perfect bounce.
Well, yeah, game 1 was absolutely crazy. I was like in complete control of the game, unless even 3 turns ago, unless there's like exactly the goat being bounced repeatedly. And then even if I have like a single more discard, none of this is possible. But they have like on 6 ink exactly Snake Goat again. And then with 2 cards in hand, because I again have no discard, it's like ink Fox Goat for exact. So yeah, that game felt really bad, because it's one of those games where it's like it feels under your control and then it just slips out. Not necessarily because I could have done anything differently. Maybe I can like challenge the Diablo with my hiss and delay seeing the sudden shit a little bit. But even that's like debatable.
I think.
And then game 2, the double sunshine play was definitely not expected. I think that was a great heads up play from Artabax playing towards the outs. But even after that, I think there was very, very little draws with which I lose that game, because it just takes him ages to set up his own clock, and I was just questing for 4 each turn, and everything I draw at least pressures a little bit.
Yep. You basically needed to draw Sir Hisses, Peter Pans, and Artabax needed to continue. Like, he had Elsa's. He had cards that looked like it was like, oh, this is the way, right? He found the line just like game 1. It's looking rough. He's going to draw exactly what he needs on the exact right turn to push us through. And Moyen was like, no, I'm going to draw what I need. I'm going to win this game. So congratulations again. Some fantastic play. Do you have any questions, Rue, that you would like to ask?
I do. Moyen, hey, big fan, and congratulations again on your win. So something Luke and I had discussed during the matches was Kit Cloud Kicker, because similar to Brawl, because it hits characters with 2 strength or less, I've said, I go back and forth on this card. Sometimes it's perfect. It's exactly what you want. It answers a threat like the 3-cost legendary Ursula. But then other times when I run into a lot of red-blue, I'm like, man, this card doesn't do anything. Like, it hits no targets. But you're running a full 4, so you clearly value the card. Tell me your feelings on Kit and why you run a full 4 copies.
First of all, thank you, but I would not have played 4 Kit if it was like an open field tournament. But
okay.
But to me, it seemed most likely that Artabax will be on green purple before resubmitting this.
Got the soul read.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
in green purple, I mean, even on Peter Pan, the kit is quite nice. It's extremely important against Emerald Steel, and then I didn't quite expect Artabax to go all the way back to like the 3-cost Ursula build, but that ended up working out very, very well as well.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, I also worth noting both players on 0 genies, right? Unless I'm
Yeah.
crazy and they just didn't.
Genie is
Genie-
totally overrated in my
Yeah,
opinion.
doesn't do anything. It's like you
yeah.
play Genie, someone play. Okay, imagine. Okay, so basically, we are kind of fighting for card advantage, but we're also fighting for like board control with the evasives. But Yago completely takes care of that. And then okay, I even have tech cards if they were to play Yagos, but it's not like Genie kind of just plays into all of the answers and is the worst draw engine. Okay, I don't rate Genie very highly right now.
It was still
Yeah,
a rabbit wars in the first 2 games at least. Like you
Yeah.
can say, and if one of that was a genie, the other player would have outvalued them just, and then
Well,
I don't think
it is an interesting thing where it depends on what they have for you. I actually think genies in Moyen's list could have maybe done some work just
Yeah.
because Artabax doesn't have all of the answers that most have. Where
Yeah.
like he only has 3 Peter Pans and 4 Elsas, and yeah, Elsa's a great answer to Genie, but normally you have another Genie challenging with it, or we have the Iagos to give Rush. That said,
I mean,
Artabax did have the kits, and the mother knows best. So the play of bouncing and stealing tempo is still there. So I do respect that and acknowledge it, as well as both players saying, I don't need Diablo. It's a hindrance. We're going too low on cards, and everything answers it right now. Was that kind of your thought as well on Diablo? Either of you?
So my so uh, to be honest, my build is just like I totally tried to build a green purple tempo list to beat red blue. That was my that was my feeling with the deck. That I think a good fast tempo deck that's still not completely garbage into everything else. So I still think the most things in my list were very much with for example the 3-cost Ursula was like I saw many people in red blue cut the brawls and stuff, and then I thought I could get away with it, and such that were thoughts that I had for building like the Ursula build. And Diablo, Diablo is always a card like it's a different amount, if it's a different pressure, it's a different pressure. Like you don't pressure lore with Diablo, but it's a different deck style, I think. And then it gets answered by a lot, by really a lot. I think the most people are complaining about Diablo a bit, like it gets answered always, and yeah.
The
I'm
great
not too
debate
high on
rages
Diablo.
on.
I mean, that makes sense. I think a lot of people are realizing that, and the meta is shifting that way, interestingly enough. And as like a lot of people don't realize, it's like, yeah, these decks are very good, and a lot of people have their main decks, but deciding on the meta, predicting the meta is huge. Moyen obviously succeeded at this. He built a version of Amethyst Emerald with Artabax in mind. And Artabax did the same thing, but Moyen was more pliable to be like, you know what, I'm just going to play this other deck, which then punishes Artabax for expecting Moyen to be on more of a Ruby Sapphire game plan like he played in the previous event where him and DKP did quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was definitely one step ahead. Yeah.
But yeah,
yeah.
I think this is super important as well, especially if people start to recognize you, because like if you just okay, this doesn't apply to Artabax. Artabax is very capable of playing other decks as well, but if you're just like known for this one deck and you always play it, like you lose a lot of percentages just because everyone mulligans correctly for you, etc.
Yep.
And on top of that, if the meta shifts and another deck might be the better bring for this meta, you won't be able to like quickly change to a new deck because you have to like completely learn it. So I think it's always important to like stay on top of all the like relevant decks of the meta.
Oh yeah, I 1000% agree there. All right, well, we're almost running out of time. Is there any other shout outs or anything you'd like to bring up before we head out?
Do you want to start, Moyen? Or
Sure. I shout out my girlfriend, the podcast Podcana, and my Metafy. But my guide kind of got killed for Blue Steel, which is a little bit sad. But I'll only release something new if it's like completely done and truly tested.
Nice.
yeah.
Moyen?
And I shout out also to my wife, to my wife, and I shout out to my team, TSR, and to Lokana Decklists, my Podcana, I say, my Artacast co-host.
He's coming after you. Beat him in here. He's going after your livelihood.
It's mine now.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a blue
And,
steel Metafy guide soon coming out.
Right?
Yeah, and also my Metafy guys, and I hope I get a revenge in the final against Moyen.
Yeah, I hope so too. I think the other matchups would be far worse for me.
Yeah, so if Artabax wins the loser bracket and then gets a rematch here against Moyen undefeated, has to feel good. I'm pretty sure this means they have to beat you twice, right?
No, so we're not. I don't think we're applying that rule, but at least I'm going first, game 1.
Okay. Well, hopefully I'll get to cast that, but who knows? We'll see. It was a fantastic show. Rude,
Absolutely.
what do you got to say?
Yeah, you guys were great. Thanks so much for not only playing, but green purple is the deck my girlfriend plays. So it's nice to see it coming back, because I know at the start of the set, everyone was like, I mean, you can't even play this, because Artabax, I always watch your show because, okay, what's the new green purple deck? What's the new way to do green purple, so I could build it for her, when it's like, oh, steel's everywhere, you can't play it. So it was very enjoyable to watch a good old school mirror match. I'll put a link to my channel in the description. I just put out a parody of Poor Unfortunate Souls for people who love foils, so go ahead and check that out.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
You have to watch this video. This has been a fantastic week for YouTube videos. I mean, obviously my teammates came out with a meta thing. I got to shout that out. But then JDZ came out with a hilarious video, and then your musical video, which is also hilarious. Great time for content. You can check out the YouTubes in the link here. And if Moyen and Artabax want to drop some links to their content in the channel, go for it. But yeah, thanks a lot. Congratulations again. Shout outs to the judging staff, all of the casters. There's dozens of us out here. We're taking time off to do things. It's great. We love it. But yeah, we'll talk to you all later, and have a fantastic night.